Are you ready? Let's go.
Hi, welcome everyone. You are now tuned into another amazing edition of Sanya On-Air at home. And just as usual, I have another great guest. I've been anticipating this conversation for the last couple of days. I have none other than Angela Birchett, and you've seen her as Jacky Clark Chisholm on the amazing Clark Sisters movie. How are you, Angela?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm amazing, but you know, we're dealing with some difficult times right now. So just briefly tell us, how are you quarantining?
Well, I guess, I don't know if I was just following an instinct, but I actually came over to a friend's house right before everything happened. And so I've actually been quarantining with two friends because I live alone. So I'm glad that I'm not glad that this is happening, but I'm glad that it worked out this way because we're together. We're all artists, so there's lots of creating going on in the house, lots of singing, lots of all kinds of things. So it's rough. You know, we live right. We can see Manhattan from our balcony, and it's very eerie and sad to see New York City the way it is, but you know, we have each other, and you know, as far as people outside of here, I FaceTime. So I've been just using this time to catch up with folks, and you know, I've been in this movie. I mean, I'm seeing people I haven't seen, and I won't say the years because then I'll give myself away, but from high school and college, like years and years and years and years and years. So you know, making the best of it.
I can only imagine. Yeah, we're all just adjusting. But you're the first person that I've spoken to who's told me that they're quarantining with friends, which I think is so important because you have so many people who may be at home alone and think, you know, let me go and call a friend when this started earlier on to see if they can quarantine together. So that's a great idea. And I can only imagine what that household looks like, you and your artistic, whimsical friends. It must be a whole lot of fun.
Oh yeah, lots of fun. Yeah.
So another question I want to ask you, because I read through the grapevine, is your birthday July 30th?
Yes. You have the same birthday?
I'm July 31st, but it's the same thing. You know, your energy, I was like, it's something about her energy, and come to find out we are fellow Leo sisters.
That's right.
Yes, I'm sure this quarantine is just kind of making you roar just a little quieter, because you know, us lionesses, we are roaring loudly all the time.
Yeah.
So cool. But you know, before we talk about the movie, you know, I just want people to really understand your background and where you came from, and how there's really no such thing as luck, but I believe in when preparation meets opportunity. And, you know, how you start doesn't necessarily mean how you're going to finish. And you have acted on television, film, and on Broadway. So just please tell us a little bit more about your past acting jobs.
Well, I used to be a teacher. I taught K-8 music. And I mean, it might sound a little cliche, but I genuinely did just say, I'm packing up and I'm going to New York. I want to pursue my dreams. And I did just that. And, you know, it's been no easy road. I've been, you know, a lot of times people see you, especially if you're a newcomer to things like as big as this film, people think, oh, she, you know, they found like some person, you know, that, and they don't know, like, I've been doing this a long time, you know, I've been after this a long time. So, and I've been in New York and just kind of learned the ropes. Yeah, I didn't go to college for acting. I went to school for music education, and you know, I've been doing theater since I was 14, so I just was blessed to have great directors and great colleagues that's the way I learned.
Right.
And so, you know, I just kind of grind just like everybody else did, and this was just another project, you know, that came through down the pipeline. But of course, for me, it wasn't just another project. It was like, what? Like, this is, you know, and someone else asked me, did you feel like from the beginning you were going to be in this? And I said, you know, yeah, like, not in like a braggadocious type of way, but like my relationship to the Clark sisters sound and their history, and being from Detroit, being a kid going into my teenage years when they were like at their height, this was like what? When I found out that I got it. So, but this was all a culmination of lots of years of lots of no's, lots and lots of no's, lots of yeses. Also in those no times, I expanded myself and started doing lots of other things. So I don't just do theater. I don't just do, TV. I do all kinds of things that had I been just constantly in shows, I wouldn't have developed hosting. I wouldn't have developed live music. I wouldn't have developed being a session singer. So it's definitely been a journey. And this is another next step in my journey, because I'm believing God and whatever you want to call it, that more is to come. And, regardless, I'm committed to doing my work, and doing what I need to do to be prepared for the next opportunity.
Yes. But let me just briefly tell my viewers and listeners some of the shows that you participated on or secured roles on. Kevin Can Wait,
yeah,
Blind Spot, Dream Girls,
yeah,
and one of my all-time favorite Broadway shows, The Color Purple.
Yeah.
just refresh my memory. Your role, was it one of Miss Sophia's sisters?
Well, in the show, the church ladies, they're not her sisters, but kind of, because we all kind of interchange.
Yeah.
I did Broadway and I did the tour, and this is of the revival. There were a lot of people didn't realize there were 2 Color Purples that happened on Broadway.
Oh, okay.
Same pretty much the same book and same score, but the visual concept was different. And so I was in the revival, and I joined the Broadway company about 8 months into their run as a swing. And a swing is basically just an understudy who covers multiple people. So on Broadway, I was an understudy for all 3 of the church ladies. And then on the tour, I was the church lady who opens the show. And if you've seen the show, you know what that means.
Yeah. Just talking about preparation as well, not just your formal training, but you are also the oldest of your siblings, which kind of art imitates life, because Jacky, she was also the oldest sibling. So this was all just set up for you. But how did you hear about the audition process?
Well, all the others, my agent said, hey, there's this project that's coming around, and let's see what happens. But I also had a friend that was connected to the project who had kind of given me a heads up, like, hey, this project is happening. You need to get your agent on the same page. And that was how I found out. I was actually wrapping up the Color Purple tour when I found out about it. And so I immediately, soon as the sides came in, I called a couple of coaches, and I was like, we got to coach these scenes. And initially they had only had me read for Twinkie, and I didn't hear anything else for a long time. But ultimately I read for Twinkie, Denise, and Jacky. Jacky was the last one that I read for. So, third time's a charm, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's what they settled in on. But I was finishing up that job, and found out and was like, okay, I'm gonna do everything. If I don't get this, it won't be because I didn't do my best.
Right.
And I didn't do the work. So
just talking about all of the no's that you received before you received the final yes. So you got the final yes, playing the role as Jacky, right?
Yeah.
Were you satisfied with that role, or did you wish that you had gotten the other 2 roles that you auditioned for?
Well, what I will say is, initially, my view is totally different now. But initially, because, and a lot of people don't know this, because I am new to a lot of people. I'm a singer first. That acting kind of branched out of that. So my initial feeling was, before I even read the script, like, I know I'm not going to get to sing, like, lead anything, because Jacky, she didn't in their career. I think she only led like 3 songs or something like that. So even the fact that I got to do any singing in the movie was great. I was very, very happy about that. But initially I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit bummed, because I felt like, people are gonna think, they found an actor who can sing enough to do this. And it's like, no, that's what I do first. But in hindsight, looking back, I'm so glad that it happened this way, because on the flip side of that, a lot of people don't know that I'm an actor. I'm hired a lot to do what we call jukebox musicals, which are just like era musicals or where you don't really have to act. You just come out, sing, and go off. So this really gave all the different communities a chance to see me do something that I love to do, but I'm just not cast very often as just a straight up actor. And it gives people a chance to, now you can come find out what I do. Now that you see me in this thing, now come check out like my actual life. Like, this is what I do.
And people are checking you out more and more, since the film was released. But I do know, in order for a person to really dig deep into a role and embody the role, there has to be a level of authenticity, right? So how did you dig deep and take your personal attributes so that you can make Jacky come alive on camera? What did you do?
Well, what I had the benefit of, I think most of us did, but I really did, was I had a chance to sit and talk with Jacky extensively before we even started. I called her, had my folks call over and see if I could get a meeting with her in Detroit, because I was going home for the holiday. She agreed, we met up, and I thought it was just going to be kind of a quick little, and it turned into 3-4 hours of us. We probably laughed more than we actually interviewed, but it gave me it was good because that interaction gave me a chance to watch her mannerisms, to watch if she talks with her hands, or her comedic timing, because Jacky's she's a funny, she's she don't mean to be funny, but she's funny. And it really gave me a chance to A, study her, but B, realize, oh, me and Jacky are like the same person. We have the same like kind of sensibilities as being older siblings. I'm pretty sure I'm the oldest of the sisters in the movie. I'm the oldest. I don't know everybody's age, but I'm pretty sure I'm the oldest because I know my age. And it just helped me kind of find the world that I wanted to put myself inside of when I created Jacky, because I never wanted it to be a caricature of Jacky. Let me go up here and act like Jacky. Right. Because no actor really does that. That's not honest. You're always going to have a bit of you in every role that you do. So I was fortunate to have time with Jacky. So I had lots of material to draw from when I started to build her. And I realized there's not a whole lot I have to do. We're very similar. So once I had kind of her physicality down, I was ready to do it. I was ready to just have fun and create.
Well, did it, do it, create. Superb, you accomplished, check, everything. You talk about those teachable moments that Jacky instilled upon you, but I just want to briefly talk about another one of your co-stars, Anjanae Ellis. Amazing.
Oh.
Watching her and how she interacted with the rest of the cast, to me, it just seemed like a master class.
Yes.
So use Anjanae Ellis as the master class teacher. What does she teach you? And by the time they said cut, what did you walk away learning from her?
Oh, so much. A big thing that I learned from her, just like on set life, you have to ask for what you want, and you have to like kind of make sure that that's what you get, because ultimately the actor has to be comfortable and has to feel like they're ready to do what you're asking them to do. So don't ever be afraid to say, hey, I need a minute, or hey, I'm not ready yet. Give me a moment so I can get ready. Watching her process, how I'm sure she wanted to like giggle with the girls, because me and the sisters, we spent all our time laughing and kicking with each other. And I'm sure a little bit of her wanted to get in on the fun, but she stayed where she needed to be to play Maddie. And to watch that was just like, she was very, gracious with our moments in scenes together. She, a lot of actors can be very, I'm here to get what I got to get done in the scene, and you do what you got to do. But we worked together, and to watch her just be able to just drop into what she needed to do and be gracious with me at the same time was really cool. I'll forever be grateful for I don't know if she knew she was giving a master class to us, but she definitely did. And we are so fortunate that we got to be, work with and around such masterful work. Anjana was just she's incredible. She's incredible. And I really hope that, she gets her recognition from this, because I mean, she's just incredible. I'm so blown away by her.
Yeah, we all were. We all were. And I
Yeah.
know that, when writers or creators are developing biopics, sometimes the authenticity of the characters' lives can sometimes be compromised and sensationalized just for television. So were the Clark sisters on set to make sure that their story was told with the honesty and the authenticity that it deserved?
We only had all of them for one day for the final shot that you all saw.
Okay.
But toward the end of the shooting time, Miss Karen was there, and she definitely kind of was having her eye out to see what was going on. Honestly, I'm not super sure how much input they had. I'm sure they did. As we shoot, they get dailies where they can look at, the shots from the day before. And we were getting constant adjustments and, changes and things. So perhaps, they were giving input, but whatever the case, they were super proud of what they saw and, happy with it. So
nice. I watched this movie once by myself, and twice by myself, and then the final time with my daughter. I am so proud of this film because it is introducing it to another demographic. My daughter's 25 years old, and
25-year-old daughter.
25.
Go ahead, girl.
And I come from a very spiritual household, and when she heard the Clark sisters, she was like, "Oh yeah, I know who they are," but I don't think that she really, really knew enough about them. So the film, it really just is a teachable moment. It's a master class for everyone. So, thank you for your authenticity and playing Jacky in this amazing movie. But I want to play a quick game with you. Are you okay with that?
Do it.
Okay. So the game is called Name That Smurf Cast Member, right? So you have Kiara Sheard, you have Christina Bell, you have Shayla Frazier, Raven Goldwyn, and Anjanae Ellis. Who is comedian Smurf?
Me.
Really?
Ask the girls. Yeah, I just say zany stuff, crazy stuff, and they all fall out laughing. Yeah.
Okay. Who would be Mother Smurf?
Including Anjanae?
Yes.
You know what? Actually, no. I'm gonna say Christina.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, I have a conversation with her coming up after you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she had the most. She wasn't motherly like over us, but she has a daughter, and I definitely could feel like that motherly thing. There was, she might remember. I don't know how much I can say this, but she might remember there was a time we were sitting around, and I said a word that I probably shouldn't have said. And she said, "Now we in church, daughter." We were in a church shooting a scene. We weren't in the church part. We were like in the back. And I said something because I'm nuts. And she said, "Now wait a minute, daughter. We still in church now." And I was like, what? I can say what I want to say.
Let me just pause right there because 3 things we now have in common. So we're both Leos. What I didn't tell you is I was also a former teacher, high school teacher.
Wow.
And, just talking about saying or doing things that may be inappropriate. So just preparing for our conversation today. So the shirt that I have on, my daughter looked at me and she said, "Mom, now you're talking to church folk and that's inappropriate." I said, "Okay, but just to see, I still have it on."
I see you got it cut right where we...
See, so now it makes sense. So let's get back to the game. Who would be emotional Smurf? Okay, this paused a little bit. Let's see if we can get this Wi-Fi back up and going. Angela, did your Wi-Fi go out? We're having such a great conversation. Hey!
Ask me another question.
There you go. Yeah. So who would be emotional Smurf?
Emotional Smurf.
Emotional Smurf.
I don't know that anybody was like super emotional.
No?
No.
Okay.
No, everybody kind of was even. Yeah, I don't think.
So who would be problem solver Smurf?
Probably Christina again, because she always know what's going on. Well, no, that's not what happened. It happened because such and such. She's probably gonna kill me.
The last Smurf would be talkative Smurf.
God, we all were talkative. Everybody was about the same.
Really?
Because we had so much downtime that after a while you just wasn't nothing else to talk about. So we were all doing this. You know, and everybody's got still got their lives and business and work going on outside of filming. So when we were taking a break, lots of people like Shalea was always posting stuff or doing stuff because she has a whole, big following and she's a big time performer. So yeah, we didn't do we took advantage of our downtime, especially, after the first week. We just kind of rested or took a nap or was on our phones, getting stuff done.
Got you. So getting stuff done on your phone. So what's next for you?
Lots of recording. I've been putting off. I haven't released an album since 2009.
Wow.
So yeah, so I've been working on music for a while just because I'm so meticulous. Like I want it to be just perfect, and it's probably why it's taken me so long to get it out. But I'm doing a lot of recording, developing a lot of online things that I can share, because for me, unfortunately, with this pandemic, even once we start loosening back up and getting back to normal, because what I do is pretty much 100% dependent upon people gathering together, it's going to change the way we create and bring our art. So I'm doing lots of developing, talking with folks, meeting with folks to get things going. But other than that, just here waiting for this thing to live so I can get back. I have a residency that I do. I host a curated open mic. Nice. We're going to probably do it twice a month now. We used to do it every week. But get back to that and get back to just doing what I do here in the city. And I do lots of gigs. I do all kind of stuff. So just back to my life.
So we're going to be, hoping that this pandemic ends very soon and hoping that you get back to your open mics and your performances and that album. So give us your IG so that we can continue to follow you.
I'm Angela Birchett, just like how my name is spelled, on across all platforms. So anywhere you search me, you'll find me that way.
Got you. And I have one final request, because I know that there are so many people at home who've watched this inspirational film who are going to be tuned into this conversation, and they may need something to carry them over from today to the next day to the next week. Would you mind blessing my viewers and my listeners with just a little song?
Oh, let's see, she's warm. Let's see. Something that's uplifting.
Yeah.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Oh, thank you so much, Angela. I really appreciate you for blessing my show, for also blessing the world with your amazing energy. The sky's the limit, because I don't believe in luck. I definitely believe when preparation meets opportunity, and you are definitely prepared. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Thank you for having me.
And be safe.
I will. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.